You've probably been told you should roll over your 401k to an IRA. And there's reasons for doing that, but there's also reasons not to do it. And I'm going to go over 4 reasons why you should not. And the 4th may or may not apply to you, but if it does apply to you, it is possibly the most important. Starting with the first one is the rule of 55. Now, if you're 40 years old and you're planning on working until 65 and you say, hey, I'm going to roll my 401k to an IRA, okay, I get it. You want to look at different options. Maybe there's different investment elections. That's oftentimes a reason for people rolling over their 401k to an IRA. But what if you're 54 years old and you're about to turn 55? Well, the rule of 55 allows for you to be able to withdraw from your 401k without an early withdrawal penalty. The IRS has a 10% early withdrawal penalty if you go to pull out of your IRA before you are 59 and a half years old. Now, there's ways to get around this. There's something called 72T, but this video is about the 401k and the IRA. So looking at the 401k specifically here, if you retire in the year you turn 55, you can access that without the 10% early withdrawal penalty, but the employer plan has to abide by that. So this is an IRS rule, but it's not something that is a requirement. Now, if you're a government employee, you have an added benefit because if you have a 457, you roll that to an IRA, again, you're stuck. But with a 457, you can actually access this when you retire, regardless the age. You don't even have to be 55 years old to avoid the 10% early withdrawal penalty. Now, if these are pre-tax dollars, you're still going to have to pay taxes on those dollars, but you're going to avoid that 10%. So make sure that you're focusing on that one. For the second one, this is one you can relate with. You went car shopping, you were there just to look, and the salesperson was like, hey, just sit in this car and check it out for a minute. You get in, before you know it, you're driving home, you're loving that new car smell. You park the car in the garage, you're making sure that you don't get any scratches on it. You're very, very careful getting out. You're wiping off the little piece of dirt they got on the seat as you were getting out. And you go inside and you sit in your bed, you get ready to go to sleep, and you can't sleep because there's this gut thing here that's just making you feel awful. And it's total instant regret. What did I just do? This happens the same way when you're rolling a 401k to an IRA when you meet with somebody who sells you something that you don't know anything about. I had this happen recently where a client called me and they said, I need you to help my friend. Their friend had just been sold an annuity. The annuity is one that it's a tricky conversation because some people may need this annuity or feel they need this annuity because it's going to take risk off the table, or maybe they want a certain income in retirement. But for this specific scenario, this person was sold something and they really didn't even know what they signed up for. I asked if they had been presented anything, and they shared with me that they were presented a plan. And when they sent me this plan and I looked at it, the plan was actually a bit more of what they call an illustration in the insurance world. And the illustration was an image. And the image showed the S&P 500 and it showed the annuity. And it showed that the annuity had actually outperformed the S&P 500. And this was a fixed annuity, meaning it wasn't even going to go down ever. It was one that, regardless of what happens with the markets, the annuity wasn't going down. But if the markets did well, it could go up. Well, if you take a look at this illustration here, or actually not an illustration, this is actually just an image. Now, this is a hypothetical, but this is based on the data of the S&P 500. And so if we look back to 1990 all the way through March 5th of 2026, this is just showing you as a teaching tool, not as anything else, not kind of an investment advice or anything there. But this, what I'm showing you here, is the difference in the S&P 500 is just a baseline and the S&P 500 if you also factor in dividend reinvestments. Well, the dividend reinvestments are oftentimes what you're going to do if you are investing, and this client was not shown that. They were solely shown that it's the S&P 500 without the dividend reinvestments, and you can see the differences here. It's a massive difference, and that's why they were being sold this. So you've got to make sure that when you're walking through this, that you're really factoring in what is going on right now. Am I being sold the right thing? Now, thankfully, I was able to help this person out because there's a look back period or free look period where you have 10 to 30 days oftentimes where you're able to look at a contract and you're able to make the decision to get out of it. And so with this person specifically, I was able to help them with that. But if your first recommendation is an annuity, that's not advice, that's a sale. Number 3 comes down to the one thing that everybody wants to focus on, and that's the fee. Now, an advisor is going to charge a management fee, and hopefully your advisor that's charging the management fee is providing value. But that's the question you've got to ask yourself, because if your advisor is wanting you to roll this 401k over to an IRA, what are they going to offer in return? And is the difference in the fee worth it? Some 401ks have a higher fee on the backside. But on the flip side of this, oftentimes if you roll it to an IRA, there could be an advisor that's charging a higher fee than the 401k. Well, if that's the case, what are you offering to help in this scenario? Could it be a financial plan? Because if you look at the image here, you can see in a financial plan, the advisor is able to help walk you through where you need to be, how you need to be investing, possibly talk through tax strategy, long-term care insurance, any of these other variables that come into play. But if they're just saying, hey, roll it to an IRA and I'm going to slap it in a mutual fund, then you want to have some questions here and maybe consider not rolling that to from a 401k to an IRA. Number 4, remember this one may not apply to you, but if it does, it could be the most important. Let's just take you back to 1970 for a second. You buy a Ford Bronco. My dad bought his Ford Bronco. He loved it. Paid $5,000 cash for this thing. And that's a lot of money back in 1970 when you make that purchase. But then you fast forward to 2026, and this is a classic. It's completely restored, and now the street value, Dad doesn't have it anymore, but the street value would have been, let's say, $100,000, completely restored. $95,000 of this is gains. That's how the IRS would look at that if you were to sell this Ford Bronco. You have $5,000, it's appreciated now to $100,000, so you have a difference there of $95,000. This could be like company stock in your 401k. If you have company stock specific to whatever company you're working for that is held in your 401k and it has appreciated significantly, there's a super cool rule or really just strategy that comes into play here, and it's called the NUA, or net unrealized appreciation. The way this is going to work is you're going to be able to take that $5,000 that you paid for that Ford Bronco or for that stock, and you're going to pay ordinary income taxes on that. From there, the $95,000 in gains, you're not going to have to ever pay ordinary income taxes, and instead, that's all going to turn into long-term capital gains. Now, if you're retiring in a tax bracket that's going to be 10%, what does it really matter to you to do that strategy? But if you're going to be retiring in a tax bracket that's 20%, well, wouldn't you rather pay 20% on the $5,000 and then potentially pay 15% on the remaining $95,000? That is the NUA strategy, and that is an opportunity that a lot of people miss, all because they continue to be told to roll their 401k to an IRA without assessing anything, because oftentimes there's an advisor on the other side that's hoping to make a dollar. So you got to just make sure that you understand what you're doing with things, because a rollover cannot be undone. Make sure it's the right move for you and not just the common one.